Battlefield 3 Gunmaster. Is there a more underrated mode in Battlefield? Whenever I want a quick game of Battlefield or some guaranteed fun with friends, I jump onto BF3 and play this epic mode. It's so much fun, and even all these years later the game feels so damn good. It's just a shame I don't win every time I play. As you see there, I am one of the most unlucky players ever, missing out on the win by, I don't know, a quarter of a second. I hope you're all keeping well. 2020 has been a wild year, and with lockdowns, natural disasters and other random events, I know we've all got things that we're trying to deal with, keeping things in order has been fairly difficult. That goes for me as well. Trying to balance work, YouTube and all the other exciting things that are going on can be quite the task. The same can't be said for Battlefield though, with things being as far from wild as possible. We've had barely any news, no updates, some unofficial teaser which turned out to be absolutely nothing, and yeah, overall it's been quite a barren landscape really. It's not like I was expecting a teaser for the next Battlefield game anytime soon, but it does feel weird getting this late into the year without a new Battlefield game to talk about. So, as usual, it's back to Battlefield 3, the timeless classic, the game that just does not seem to get old whatsoever, and we're going to be seeing some Gunmaster gameplay. I jumped on, had a few rounds, actually won quite a few in one play session, which is fairly epic to be honest. Whenever you play Gunmaster, just trying to get one win sometimes can take you all day, but I managed to get a couple, so I was super happy with this, and this is a clip in the background where I do actually win the round, so yeah, keep an eye on it as I get to the end. It's a close one, but I managed just to sneak the win in the end. This video, as you might know, is going to be a little bit different from the usual though, as I take a look into the setup that I'm using whilst playing Battlefield. I've recently taken a step to become fully wireless, meaning a wireless mouse, a wireless keyboard and a wireless headset. For anyone that joins me on Discord or keeps track of my social media, you'll know that I'm a big fan of Logitech gear, especially their mice and keyboards. I've used them for years and genuinely think that they do provide the best options around for every style of player, whether you're just a casual gamer or whether you're somebody that takes things a lot more seriously. The stuff they have right now, their current lineup, is just amazing. There is literally something for everybody. I've been using the Logitech G Pro wireless mouse for a few years. I rant and rave about it to anyone in my Discord who's talking about getting a new mouse. I think it's the best one out there right now. A few years before that I had the 903 and the 305, both again really good, and I've got them behind me, one on a different computer and one paired up with my laptop, so a bit of Logitech gear all around the house. They really are great though, both for gaming, and something that I have to deal with a lot of the time is editing, and having a mouse that can do both, so it's comfortable but also a really good mouse for gaming to build up your muscle memory and give you a solid platform to improve. Let me tell you, the Logitech stuff is fantastic. As you might have guessed, this video is sponsored by Logitech. They actually sent me out a few things to complete my setup. You might have seen some pictures on Twitter. I'll include a few of those just on the side there for you to see. As I've said, these products are something I've been using for years, so getting to work alongside a company that I love is just a complete win-win scenario for me. So, alongside some of this Battlefield 3 Gunmaster gameplay as I get destroyed there, missing a snipe, on the ever-stunning Zebra Tower, we're going to take a quick look at those peripherals I use when playing Battlefield, and I'll give you some proper feedback on the move to a wireless setup. That seems to be the way things are going these days. We're moving away from wired peripherals, more towards the wireless setup. Now, the footage in the background was recorded completely using this Logitech gear. We've got the Logitech G Pro Wireless, the G915 10 keyless Lightspeed wireless keyboard. You'll like the picture of that I show you there. It looks super clean, and it's nice to have a smaller keyboard on the desk once again. And then the Logitech G Pro X Wireless Lightspeed headset and the Logitech G PowerPlay wireless charging system. Altogether, they form a really good lineup on my desk, with of course the major update to my setup being the wireless capability. I was always hesitant with wireless peripherals, especially headsets, because of the battery life, but that being the only thing holding me back, I checked the battery life out on these things and it's absolutely crazy. With the G Pro wireless mouse, you can get up to 60 hours battery life, and at one point I was worried that something was wrong with it because I hadn't charged it in 2 weeks. But if you turn the light off on it, even the RGB light, it's a little trick, you can make this thing run for a long time, and you forget that it actually has a rechargeable battery after a while. Now, I also do have that mouse pad that you saw, the Logitech G PowerPlay wireless charging system, it's a bit of a luxury for me, really. You can just use it and use your mouse on the pad, and you don't have to charge the mouse ever. You never have to plug it in. It just charges on its own, which is an incredible bit of technology. For someone as forgetful as me, it's a great thing to have. When it comes to Battlefield gameplay as well, the mouse I'm using is perfect. 2 thumb buttons on the side are important, especially for any vehicle players. You'll know that having the additional buttons here and there means you can bind a few essential functions, freeing up some keyboard space, which is always important. For infantry as well, I have prone on my mouse, which is quite weird. I don't know if any of you guys have prone or crouch on your mouse. Some people have grenade or switch weapons. You might be thinking, how is that really going to help me? It does offer you a little bit more in terms of freeing up keys on your keyboard, so you're not having to take your fingers off the important keys as much. The important keys being your movement keys, your jumping, that sort of stuff. This is completely up to you, really. It's subjective, but I think having a few extra buttons is important, and the mouse does that really, really perfectly. Now we see in the background, I'm running around with a knife trying to find somebody to kill. There are a few routes you can take on Zebra Tower. I run around the corner and find the unlucky guy there. Faith HD, does that name ring any bells? It does for me. That guy was an OG Battlefield 3 player years ago and has some really cool videos on his channel, actually. Definitely worth checking out. So moving on to the keyboard as we check out a few more clips in the background, some interesting clips, some wins as well on the Zebra Tower Gunmaster mode. We have this keyboard, and finding a decent 10 keyless design was tricky. I have probably 4 keyboards now, 5 keyboards. I've bought quite a few of them myself, just trying to find the right one. I need the balance of something that fits on the desk and looks good, because I like the aesthetic of this sort of stuff. I also want it to be, you know, a decent keyboard, good build quality, not cheap and plasticky, none of that stuff. And trust me, with this thing, you will be impressed by the quality. It's completely solid. It actually weighs more than you think. It's a really good keyboard. And then, of course, you have the wireless aspect to it. Why would you want a wireless keyboard, you might be asking? Well, in a future video I'll show you why. I actually have a racing sim rig next to me that I jump into, you know, whenever I want to play a set of Corsa or some racing sims like that. A bit of a hobby of mine. And having to pick up the keyboard with a wire on it makes it very difficult to pop it on the side of the rig so I can rage at people whenever they smash me off the side of the track. Having the wireless keyboard is perfect. I can pick it up, go and sit down in the rig. Maybe if I want to just move back and watch the monitor from a distance, if I'm watching a movie. Maybe if you have your PC next to your bed and maybe you've got a larger monitor and you want to sit on your bed and watch something, you can take your wireless setup to your bed and use it there. Really nice, and it just offers that little bit more that other setups can't really do. Oh, a quick thing about the battery life as well on the keyboard. It has 40 hours of battery life with the lighting set to 100%, and a lot more if you turn it off. So again, you'll probably forget that it's actually wireless after using it for a week, 2 weeks. And finally, we have the headset, the G Pro X wireless Lightspeed headset. It also ticks quite a few boxes for me. Wireless means I can move between my rig and my desk, as I said. No pesky wires in the way. And honestly, it might sound like a first world problem, but when I'm sitting there with a headset on and it has the wire coming down to the side of me, it always gets stuck under my arm or under my chair. And then maybe when I rage at somebody who's blown me up with a claymore or something, I get irritated by that. I'll move and I'll yank the headset on the side of my head. It's, as I said, not a problem that a lot of people will deal with, but if you could choose between wireless or wired, I think most people these days would choose wireless. The battery life is great. The sound is fantastic, and the G Pro X wireless headset feels amazing on your head. It's closed back. My last headset was open back, but it's not too hot, and usually the closed back headsets tend to make you a little bit sweaty and hot if you wear them for too long. This one is fine. It's very breathable. Memory foam cups around your ears. Perfect. I really like it. And right now it's a headset that I don't really see myself moving on from. It's absolutely fantastic. So there we go. I've shown you my peripherals and some Battlefield 3 gameplay. This is what I use when I play. Will you become as good as me if you buy this stuff? Hopefully you become a lot better, as you'll have seen from the gameplay. I'm pretty hot and cold with Battlefield. Sometimes I will just get a great streak and everything works out. Other times I'll spend an entire magazine trying to work out how to aim, and I won't hit the guy once. It really just does depend with me in Battlefield, but that's why I love the game. You're going to get something different every time you play, so very fun for me whenever I log in. A little bit about BF3 though. I've gone back and played quite a lot of BF3 lately. I know a lot of people have been asking, you know, why are you going back to play BF3? This game's really old. I've gone back to play it because I think DICE must be looking at BF3, thinking, why was this game so good? Why are people still playing it? Why was it so popular? And they must be looking at this thinking, well, map design, the aesthetics, the voice lines, the whole kind of ambience of the game, the modes, the DLCs, everything about it was really, really good. It had something for everyone in this sandbox, despite the 10Hz servers and the lag, and even all the bugs on release. People loved this game. Communities were forged on it. YouTubers started their careers with it. They must be looking thinking, we need to go back to that. It's over a decade since BF3 came out, and we haven't had a game since then that has quite reached the levels of BF3. Sure, we have had BF1, which was a juggernaut of a game, but it didn't have the player retention that BF3 had. People put BF1 down quite quickly. You know, you're talking about 30 million sales, 20 million sales, or 25 million unique players, whatever the stat is. A lot of those played it for one day and then stopped playing, which is never really a good thing with a game, although sales probably are the most important thing. But I think it's all about concurrent players. Currently with games, that's what you want. How many people can you get playing your game at the same time? If BF3 came out today, it would be so popular. So maybe even a remake is on the cards. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's been a bit of a ramble, taking a look at some things on my setup. Thanks to Logitech for sponsoring this video and giving me this great gear to use. I'll be using it for years to come, no doubt about that. Thanks for watching. Leave your opinions down in the comments and I'll catch you in the next video.